The Minnesota Twins will be playing baseball in a brand new $552 million stadium 3 years from now. Groundbreaking had been set for last night, but was postponed because of the bridge collapse. Star Tribune columnist Nick Coleman questions whether that money could have been better spent, writing, "Both political parties have dithered and dallied and spent public wealth on stadiums while scrimping on the basics. Even the stadium barkers realize it is in poor taste to celebrate the spending of $500 million on ballparks when your bridges are falling down." Nick Coleman joins me now from Minneapolis. Thanks very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Clearly, your city has a lot to be proud of. We've all admired the heroics of the first responders and the everyday citizens who arrived on the scene after the bridge collapsed. But is it fair to say there's anger there as well, Nick?
I think there is a rising sense of anger. Of course, we're very proud of the way we did respond, not only the uniformed personnel, but the Good Samaritans. And that is a kind of old-fashioned Minnesota spirit. This state was once known and proud of being a progressive state where people pulled together. But I think a bridge collapse thing, families being tragically torn apart like this, and people still being recovered from the river, this is causing us to question the basic assumptions that we have about whether our government is delivering what we need from it.
Well, the baseball stadium is one issue, but the Committee Against Government Waste also argued there was $636 million in what they called either wasteful or questionable spending in Minnesota in 2006. They cite, among other things, $30 million for bear exhibits at the zoo, $12 million.
Yes, okay, let me
just finish this.
There are always this kind of attitude. Of course, government has always funded things that you or I may disagree with, but I think everybody can agree that it's got to keep the bridges up. We have had a no new taxes philosophy running state government. It's been the motto of our governor, Tim Pawlenty. He's been a pal politically of Grover Norquist. Norquist is the kind of guy who said he wants to shrink government until he can drown it in a bathtub. Well, guess what? You can't drown governments, but people can drown. And they did drown here. When this bridge went down, that's a disgrace. It's not just a tragedy. It should be the beginning of people getting angry about what's not being done for them.
In fact, you wrote in a column yesterday that this is worse than an act of God or terrorism. It's about incompetence and indifference. Have you learned more to make you change your mind at all, or to make you more angry?
I've actually gotten more angry about this. I saw a photo today on the internet of the governor vetoing the transportation bill last spring, a transportation bill that had the first gas tax increase this state would have seen in 20 years. He vetoed it. It didn't go anywhere, and he's smiling while he did it, along with all the other officials. Guess what? Nobody is smiling anymore. This state is $1 billion behind every year in transportation spending. It's getting to be a disgrace. We were living with the potholes. We were living with the disruption and the inadequate highways, but we cannot live with bridges falling down.
Well, our sympathies go out to everyone who was affected by this. Nick, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.